I'm a unicorn!
Hi guys, welcome back. I am your friendly neighborhood unicorn girl. And here are some unicorns and there's some unicorns. Together that makes, you guessed it, kezandunicorns. Today's featured unicorn is...
Oh my god!
I don't think she's really a unicorn, but it's Rainbow Dash.
Ugh, you're gonna cheer for me like that? Louder! 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 Yay!
Because Pride. I actually have a Rainbow Dash cosplay coming up, so if you want to subscribe for that, then you should. Anyway, so today I guess I wanted to do something a bit more lighthearted. My last video, if you haven't checked it out yet, you totally should. It's kind of about everything that's been going on with Gabby Hanna recently, but it's not really me defending necessarily Gabby or roasting Gabby. It's more about, well, it's kind of the first of what I have now decided is going to be a new series on this channel, which is called It's Not Tea. And it talks about how when tea crosses a line with mental health, it's not really tea anymore. So check that out. I'll put a card here. Yay. Today I'm going to do a little makeup look and I'm kind of going to give you a bit of a story time. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. Here's Rainbow Dash. She will be joining us today. Thank you for giving us your time. Okay. And as I always like to say in these videos, if you hear a strange that is an alarm that I don't know how to stop.
Chris doesn't know how to stop.
You just have to deal with it, unfortunately. My backyard used to literally have a train station right behind it, and when I first moved there I was like, this is so annoying. And then before I realised it, I totally managed to get over that. Anyway, that's no one cares. So, okay, I am not here as someone who is really part of the LGBTQ community. I am a heterosexual cis woman.
Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations!
I guess I've had like dalliances with women, but yeah, I just hide myself. I can't even hide myself now. This is problematic. I guess I've had what one would call dalliances with women, but I don't think that's rare. But I'm not here as someone that's really like part of the LGBTQ plus community, but I'm here as an ally. And I wanted to talk about my first Pride Parade experience. So buckle in. Please keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times, and I think the genie from Aladdin can explain it better than me.
In case of emergency, the exits are here, anywhere. Keep your hands and arms inside the carpet.
There you go. That was better. We are going to jump in a time machine and go all the way back in time to... Okay, I don't know what year it was, if I'm being honest with you, but it's at least 10 years ago, okay, that I experienced my first Pride Parade. And it was in San Francisco.
My brother lived in San Francisco.
And I actually didn't even know it was going to be on. I was traveling kind of around the world, as you do. I did kind of Europe, mainly Eastern Europe and America. And I'm in San Francisco, and we are, you know, we're like, okay, let's just like head out. And we see all of these massive, like we just see like major crowds. So we're like, oh, what's going on here? And so we went to check it out, and we found ourselves at a Pride Parade. It was awesome. It was colourful. I loved it. But there were parts of it that I hated, because some people just don't deserve to be allowed to live. I personally feel like, you know, at a Pride Parade, people that want to preach and be like, you homosexuals, you're going to hell in a handbasket, and you should be ashamed and disgusted with yourself. Yeah, those people should just be forced to take a day off. Seriously. I'm gonna just... Wow. One moment. I think that's better. Just cover my lips completely. This look is going to be weird because I know the obvious look to go for when you're doing like pride is like the rainbow eyes, but I'm not going to do that. I want to try something different today. Here are some looks though of me doing rainbowy eyes. Ta-da! What am I looking for?
Inspiration. I can't believe how much like everyone has decided to make noise.
Yeah, people are just
They're so
rude.
Rude. Don't they know? Just no, you know.
So yeah, I should like let me just take a break here for a second and say, you know, like I was a gymnast, and then I went into performing arts, and I went to drama school, and I worked in theatre for a while before my back got bad. So like my whole life I've kind of been surrounded by lots of very diverse people, because that's what you get when you go into like performing arts. So yeah, I've always been surrounded by like very diverse people. That's just been my life, and I've never really thought anything of it. Like I genuinely have never understood why anyone has a problem with anyone else's sexuality. I remember like my best friend at school was this was after we finished school, but she had been in a relationship with this guy, and she was engaged to him, and she broke up with him, and she came to kind of explain to me like what had happened, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And you know, she comes around to my house and she's like, so light show. Sorry about that, light teething issues. And you know, she comes around my house and she's like, you know, I want to, you know, explain to you like what happened, because obviously when someone ends a relationship, when they're engaged to someone, it's kind of a big deal. So I'm like, okay, come round. I just shouldn't say things sometimes. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh wait, there's a lot wrong with me. You just need to read my Twitter bio for that. Oops. When you shake your powder, make sure the lid is on. So she comes around to my house to tell me what's going on, and yes, Rainbow Dash, I'm aware that there is white stuff, powder everywhere. I can't believe I actually sniffed at the end of that. What was that? Right. So she comes to my house and she says,
you know, I've broken up with my fiance.
And I'm like,
Yeah, cool. Give me the deets, give me the 411.
That is so fetch.
do people still say that? What is the 411? I don't know. Let's bring it back.
Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
And she tells me that she's broken up with him because she met someone else. And I'm like,
Okay.
and then she says that this other person is a woman. And I say,
Okay.
and she's like,
Is that all you have to say?
and I'm like,
Pretty much.
I don't know why it's such a big, like, I'm not trying to say like, I understand that for people who are gay, coming out is a big deal. I'm not trying to say that that's not a big deal. I'm not trying to like invalidate that, because I love seeing, this past month I've loved seeing all of these people on my Twitter timeline coming out and being proud to be who they are and saying it, you know, and they were like, this is me.
I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me.
But what I'm trying to say is I've never really understood why people care, you know, those homosexual, those people. I've never really understood it, because I've always just been like, well, if you love someone, you love them. Like, does their gender really matter? I don't understand. But yeah, so that was a little side note.
Hi there. Is there a project you're working on? I know more than you.
But anyway, so we'll go back to San Francisco. So picture San Francisco 12 years ago, and I'm out there getting to the middle of town, and there's a pride parade going on, and I'm like, this is freaking awesome. Like, it was so loud, it was so colourful, people were just being who they want to be, and as someone who has my fair share of mental health issues and has BPD, like, one of the biggest things about BPD is, you know, this distorted perception of self, this idea that unlike a lot of other people, if you have BPD or EUPD as it's sometimes called, you don't really have a sense of self like everyone else. So I really like seeing it in other people. It does make me a little bit jealous because I'm like, but who am I though? If you have BPD and you can relate to what I'm saying right now, like, let me know in the comments. You don't have the same sense of self as normal people. So, you know, I think it's really beautiful being able to see people coming out and being proud and knowing who they are. The amount of times I said, you know, I'll see someone online who I like, who has aspects to their personality that I'm like, and I'll be like,
Why can't I be like that?
and then the next day I'll be looking at someone completely different and being like,
Why can't I be like that?
it's exhausting to not know who you are. So I think it's awesome for people to be able to come out and say, this is who I am.
I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
Deal with it, you know? I like that. And I don't think anyone should ever have to be made to feel like they're doing something wrong in just being them, you know? I've never understood that. And so that's my TED talk on that. Thank you. I'm at this Pride Parade and we are just enjoying the atmosphere, taking it all in and walking, you know, like down the street because it's like a carnival style, like on the road thing. If you've been to a Pride Parade, you'll know what I mean. And if you haven't, you'll probably still know what I mean. And it was amazing. And then I'm down there, and then, you know, we're walking down. And bearing in mind, I'm like, I don't know, I can't remember exactly how old I was off the top of my head, but I was not old enough to drink in the US, so I was young, and I am, I'm a tiny person, and there are, you know, an array of people reading from the Bible, being like, you're all going to hell, and I was literally just like, I don't understand this, like, why? I don't just mean like why, I don't mean like why are they going to hell even, like that notion in itself makes like 0 sense to me, because doesn't God forgive all or something? So that doesn't make sense to me. But my main issue was why can't you take a day off? Why do you have to go to a Pride Parade where people are, you know, 10 years ago the world was a very different place, and that eyeliner is like dying. The world was a very different place than it is now, and coming out was something that a lot of people were genuinely scared to do for like fear of potentially like losing their jobs, being discriminated against, all of that stuff. Like, we have to remember, like in the UK especially, the Equalities Act came out in 2010, which is 10 years ago, and this Pride Parade was before that. So it just was not as socially acceptable or as normal as it is now. And I'm saying that knowing that it's still not as accepted as it should be, in my opinion. But in comparison, hang on, let me just finish doing this eye and I'll be back, because this eyeliner is hard to do. 1 second.
2 hours later.
Okay. So what was I saying? So like 10 years ago, it was even more of a problem than it is now. So seeing these people, it was kind of beautiful, and it was just nice, you know, it's wholesome seeing people being able to be proud to just be who they are. But of course, there were obviously a lot of people there I just poked myself in the eye with mascara. That's, yeah, well done, Hez. Great job there. Wow. There were obviously a lot of people there to celebrate with these people who were saying, you know, no, we are who we are, and we are damn well going to be proud of it because we deserve to be proud of it.
Obviously.
Yes, there were a lot of people in favour, but just seeing, you know, a couple of people being so hateful. And I was just like, one thing that, so, okay, I am not religious, but I guess agnostic would be the correct term. I believe in some sort of higher, greater power than us. I believe that there's a rhyme and reason to things, and that's partly because losing my parent at such a young age, I kind of felt like I had to believe that there was a reason for that, you know. It couldn't just, I needed to find solace somewhere. But so to see people who claim to be spreading the words of Jesus and saying, you know, that you're all going to hell, it's like, no. Believe me, I've read the Bible. It was my New Year's resolution one year, was to read the Bible so that I could then decide what I thought of it. And at the end of the day, I think it's just an outdated, archaic book written by a group of men who wanted power and they found a way to do it. Now, I'm not saying that I don't believe in Christianity or any of the things that are talked about in that, so don't come at me for that. I'm just saying the Bible was not written by the Lord, was not written by Jesus, it was written by a group of guys who wanted a power trip. But one of the big things that the Bible says, and I believe every religion says it, is be accepting of people, love people, accept them for who you are. And Jesus makes a big point, you know, God says, you know, all will be forgiven. So why are you telling people that just because they happen to love someone of the same gender as them, they're going to hell? But my main issue with this wasn't really that. It was the fact that they felt the need to do it on this one day that people were supposed to be able to just come out and not fear any repercussions for just being them. And I think in modern society we see this a lot. We see people being scared to be themselves all the time, and it's not necessarily just sexualities. We see, you know, trans people have suffered for years being told that they have to live their life as a gender that they aren't. And I'm going to have a video talking about what's going on at the moment in the UK with regards to the Gender Recognition Act. So that's coming. So that annoyed me because I was like, this is fun, it's enjoyable, it's, as I said, wholesome, heartwarming, all that good stuff. And being me, I decided I'm gonna do something about it. Because little old me thinks that they have power to make change somehow. I don't know how. Maybe it's because I'm a unicorn.
We're going on an adventure, Charlie.
Yeah, Candy Mountain, right. I'm just gonna, go back to sleep now.
After walking past, a number of people who have decided to just come along and be like, yeah, you're all like going to hell, I stop because I'm like, I am done listening to this bullshit. Especially because there were police stood right next to this particular guy. FBI, open up! And I went up to the police and I said, are you really just gonna stand by and let this happen? Like, this is really not fair on these people that are trying to celebrate who they are. And the police look at me and they're like, and I'm saying, are you really gonna let this happen? And they just look at me and they say, free speech. Deadpan. Like, and I was just like, what? So you're here to protect these people, presumably, to make sure that crowds don't get out of hand, to make sure that people are being treated fairly, and you're going to stand there and tell me that it's fine. And they were like, yeah.
Okay, folks, show's over. Nothing to see here. Show's, oh my God!
And they were like, yeah, that's what we're going to tell you. And I lost my shit.
What? What the fuck?
So I find my way to the front of this crowd.
One of the best things about being a really small person is that you can easily just like maneuver yourself through crowds.
It's a real advantage. And I basically start going off at this guy and saying, look, you can believe what you want to believe. I'm not here to like tell you what not to believe, but if you're gonna be standing there telling me that you are spreading the word of God at a pride parade and telling a group of gay people that they're going to hell, I'm gonna have a problem with that, because nowhere in the Bible does it say that. So if you want to be a hateful human being, be a hateful human being. Don't disguise it as, I'm just following the words of the Lord. It's religion. No. One of my biggest hates is when people use religion to try and justify things that are not justifiable. So I'm like, please don't do that. And this guy was just like, well, it's what the Lord says. No, it's not. And actually, if anything, you're going to be the one going to hell, because you're spreading hate, you're not loving thy neighbor, you're not being accepting. You're basically telling people that unless they decide to suddenly change their sexuality, they are going to be doomed for all eternity. Do you really think that's okay to say to anyone ever? And do you really think it's okay to say that at a pride parade? Can't you just have a day off? Can't you just let them have their day? It's always stuck with me as something that I was just so, I guess the term would be bamboozled, that the police would let that happen. That these people seemed to think it was okay.
You idiot! You're honestly an idiot. I don't know what's wrong with you.
And there were crowds listening to this guy, but no one was saying, dude, you're being out of order. Like, this isn't really okay, is it? It's not very nice. Yeah, okay. Americans have this whole big thing about freedom of speech, right? But the same people that tend to harp on about freedom of speech are the same people that when someone else decides to exercise their freedom of speech and they say something that that person doesn't like, they'll be like, you can't say that shit. So I guess.
Hey, how you doing? Well, I'm doing just fine. I lied.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is, this guy was, he was not going to listen, he was not going to stop, but I was kind of amazed at the other people that were listening to this guy and giving him a platform to say all these horrible things to a group of people. I've just never understood it.
Stop it. Get some help.
I have this thing that I always really want to be able to understand a different perspective and a different side of things, and I've just never understood why anyone's sexuality really has anything to do with anyone except for that person. Like, it's their sexuality, it's not yours. I don't like seeing people be treated unfairly just for something like sexuality. And what we've seen recently during Pride Month is Trump's doing some messed up stuff, as usual. Someone explained to me how one of my favourite YouTubers is a Trump supporter, and I can't stand Trump. How does that work? The UK is trying to screw people over, trans people, trans rights during Pride Month. And I'm just I just want to know why.
Why?
And I want to say sorry to all of these people, and I know it's not me, and there are a couple of petitions that I will be linking in the description box, so if you can take a moment to sign them to show support, mainly for the Gender Recognition Act in the UK.
I bet you looking at this look and you're like, how the hell is this pride? It's all in the lips, okay? And my cute little
rainbow palette. So I will be including those in the bottom. So if you can sign, share, do all that stuff, I think that would be good.
Two hours later.
Okay, I'm back. Chris had a work meeting thing, so I thought I would just put my lashes on and put my wig on. I had to cut the fringe, so it was a whole big thing, but yeah, this is me. Okay, so I have some little diamantes that I want to put on my face, but what I want to try and do here is like rainbow striped lips, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I kind of wanted to make this video because I wanted to share that, you know, my impression, you know, my first like pride parade. And just talk about it really and do something a bit more lighthearted. I mean, not really the LGBT rights and trans rights that are light, but so much stuff in this world that I just don't understand, and treating people differently for a reason of being gender just confuses me. So I just wanted to share that, really. And also, you know, there's been so much going on in the world in 2020. I think it's very easy to forget all of these things that we would normally celebrate because there's just been so much going on.
Imagine all the people living for today.
And I think it's difficult for a lot of people because it's difficult to know if it's appropriate to take part or not.
I just wish we could all get along like we used to in middle school. I wish that I could bake a cake made out of rainbows and smiles and we'd all eat it, be happy.
She doesn't even go here!
For me, it's very much like, should I be talking about this kind of stuff? Because I'm not part of LGBT, but I want to just, you know, I want to talk about it. And I think, despite all the drama and everything going on, I think, you know, when Nikki Tutorials came out as transgender, I think it was so great to see how people took that. And I think it's a really good sign that so many people are starting to get that, you know, trans people and are no different. They deserve the same respect. In fact, the article that I'm going to be looking at in a minute, I haven't read all of it, but let's just say I read enough to get royally pissed off. So yeah, I just wanted to share some wholesome content. It'll be really cool if you guys want to, you know, share some of your experiences in the comments below. Have you been to Pride Parade before? Is it something that you guys even think about anymore? Or is it just like a normal thing? Do we need to be making such a big deal out of LGBT, or should it just, like, in my opinion, it should just be like an accepted norm now. It shouldn't make any difference to anything. And the LGBT community should be able to just exist. Maybe, you know, sharing some love for some LGBTQ plus YouTubers that are smaller channels that people might not know about. Share them in the comments. Spread the love, people. I know this pig. Wow. I know this wig might be pink, but I literally feel like, what's her face? From Danganronpa. What's her name?
I can't remember.
Junko?
That sounds right.
Junko Enoshima? Junko? I feel like Junko. I just wanted to kind of share this and share my, like, I don't know, just talk a little bit about LGBTQ and the community, and just talk about the fact that I think it's really disgusting how even in you know, where we are now, looking back over the last 10 years, we're in a place where it's a lot more acceptable to be a part of the LGBTQ community. But for some reason, laws are not being changed. You know, people aren't actually, the fact that yeah, just share some love really and try something a bit different. This one is so dark, it's making the others like not show. I did think about doing something different and just doing like my fave LGBTQ YouTubers, but I don't know. This just came to me and I was like, let's do that. So yeah, this is my final look. I'm proud of it. Don't kill me for that pun. Yeah, I've got a little... Oh my god. Okay, I love it. I don't care. I love it. I'm living for this look. I've even got multicolored contacts in because I can. Anyway, that was kind of just my story about my first ever Pride parade and basically how I think certain people should just be killed it. Not really killed it though. Just it frustrates me to no end to see people still being scared of coming out, or people still treating people, you know, what happened with Nikki Tutorials, like the blackmail. It's like, why? And the fact that she took the power back, I think, is fantastic. And I also think it's hard for a lot of people. As someone who is not trans or gender fluid or anything, I think a lot of people do find the kind of pronouns to be a lot. And I do try to respect people's pronouns as much as possible. I don't know how to really change that moving forward, and it is what it is, but I just hope that given time, maybe the LGBTQ plus community won't need to exist anymore, because it will just be such a normal thing that you don't need a safe space. I mean, everyone deserves a safe space, so I'm not saying like I don't want it to exist. I'm just saying it would be nice if we could get to a point where, you know, racism doesn't exist anymore, bigotry of any kind doesn't exist anymore. And so to me, Pride Month, while yes, it is for people in the LGBTQ plus community, it's also a great example for people who are allies to the community. You know, I consider myself an ally, and I have a platform, and it might be a tiny platform, but it's still a platform, and I'm still going to talk about things that I feel strongly about, and equal rights is something that I feel incredibly strongly about. So yeah, and I haven't talked about Black Lives Matter. I'll include a couple of links to things down there too, because obviously that is still going on. If you want to follow me on my Twitter, I post a lot of Black Lives Matter things on there, and I do try and keep sharing petitions or anything that I come across that is in support of these minority groups that are not getting a fair shot. So yeah, come follow me on Twitter, kezandunicorns, Instagram. I will be back on there soon. It's just mental health, picking pictures is hard. Don't ask me how I do my thumbnails right now, but I will be back on Instagram soon, so come and follow me. I'm kezandunicorns. I'm here. You can see more of this kind of stuff. I have another kind of LGBTQ plus video coming up. I have a Caroline Flack cancel culture video coming up. I have a Lush Wigs review coming up. I have a Webster Wigs wig review coming up. I have a wig tutorial series coming up. I have a My Little Pony series coming up. I've got loads of stuff coming up basically. And yes, I will be talking about the Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, Tati, James Charles situation, because while I am not a drama channel, as was the message in my Gabby Hanna video, when something affects someone to the point of suicidal thoughts, that's not tea. So I will be talking about that. In the meantime, I hope you had fun. Thank you for hanging out with me today and listening to me ramble on. To everyone who is watching that is part of the LGBTQ plus community, thank you for sitting and watching and hanging out, and know that there might be some assholes in the world who are loud and who will discourage you and who will make you feel like crap sometimes, but you do have allies, and you are, I hate to say it, but you are valid and you deserve to be you. So be proud to be you, because you shouldn't have to wait for a specific month of the year to feel that you can be proud of being you. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know if I get what I'm saying, but I think I'm saying something maybe profound. I don't know. Anyway, again, thank you so much. This is my final look. Yes, we call this extra because I is extra. I'm also thinking of starting a TikTok, so maybe you'll see me TikToking. Thank you to Rainbow Dash for joining us today for this lovely, random, rambly video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do, stick around, watch some more of my videos where I like to be random, because I'm generally quite good at that, I think. Maybe. Who knows? I'll be doing another live soon as well, so if you subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you know when I will be going live and when I drop a new video, because I'm gonna get constant just for you. Yeah, that one person that's still here. Yeah, it's for you. Thank you again, and comment down below. Let's have a chat. Nice comments, please. I want positivity in this video. Let's be positive and let's be proud. Arigatou gozaimasu. Keep on proudly unicorning. Bye.